Just when you thought that the Fast and Furious series was going to end, you all of a sudden had got word that a spinoff was happening, which was Hobbs and Shaw. What's going on, everybody? This is Ryan A. Polk with the wrap-up, and I went to go see that movie yesterday, and I don't know about you guys, but, you know, like most Fast and Furious fans, when I first heard about it, I was not too happy about hearing it. But when I went to go see it yesterday, I was impressed. Not going to even lie. It was impressive. It was impressive to me as far as for, you know, what they had did and everything. And, you know, because, and you know, because I was feeling like, you know, like how, you know, Tyrese was almost, I was almost feeling like how Tyrese was, because, you know, you had everything that was going on with The Rock and the cast, like how him and Vin Diesel had their little fallout. Then you had Tyrese, who was pissed off because you know, with the spinoff happening, the next sequel to Fast and Furious got pushed back to 2020, and you had him who was just going on and off about him, saying something like how he had ruined the Fast and Furious family and everything, and you know how, you know, he had just, you know, destroyed it and everything. Because you know, it's because, you know, when The Rock had got introduced in Fast 5, he basically was coming like damn near the face of it. Him and Vin Diesel was, but then like it almost seems like that like, you know, it was slowly overcoming Vin Diesel, but not so much. In this movie, you got Hobbs and Shaw. They are assigned to this mission to where they have to take out Idris Elba. Idris Elba plays a bad guy in this, and it was almost like one of those movies where like, okay, how can I even say it? It's almost like think of it as if you're playing Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks on the PS2, when you beat the game the first time, and then you're like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and then, you know, you're playing Sub-Zero, the other person is playing Scorpion, and those two are teaming up. That's really the only thing. Like, for some reason, that was the first thing that like popped up in my mind when I thought of Hobbs and Shaw, because they are the worst of enemies. They do not like each other, and they did not want to team up. But when you see this movie, you'll be like, okay, they really needed to team up to see this movie. And what I liked about this movie, though, was just pretty much like everything that they did with it, like with the storyline and with the action and how they had played it out with this, because I was wondering, like, when they did this spinoff, okay, like, what's going to happen with this spinoff? Because you know, people like Dom and you know, Roman, none of them, you know, they're not even thought of in this movie. Almost like you almost forget about Dom and his team in this movie, and it almost even made you wonder, like, okay, because like when I saw the trailer, I was wondering, well, you know, like I wonder like, for the people who contacted, for the guy who contacted Hobbs and Shaw, when I was watching that trailer, who contacted them, you know, why come this guy did not think about contacting Toretto's team? But you know, hey, the movie's called Hobbs and Shaw for a reason, because, it focused on those two. And this movie also, it is not even one of the worst movies of 2019. Is it the best movie of the Fast and Furious series? No, definitely not. And it's also not the worst one of the series. I wouldn't even say that Hobbs and Shaw is my least favorite of it. I almost enjoyed it. I ain't gonna say almost. I enjoyed it more than I did Fast and Furious. Like, I enjoyed Hobbs and Shaw more than I did that one. And Hobbs and Shaw also, you know, with how the way the storyline was with it, it was a good storyline. You do find out some extra stuff about the two of them. Don't want to spoil nothing, but you kind of do. And Idris Elba, for the role that he played as a bad guy, he plays a good bad guy. We've seen him as a bad guy before in other movies, but in this one, he's one of his character, Brixton, is probably one of the best Fast and Furious villains in the series. Definitely one of the best. And he was like so badass in this because I mean like this dude wasn't even like human all the way. You know, he was like half machine, half human, almost like an evil cyborg almost. Like if Cyborg were to just turn bad, like in a like I don't know, like if he just all of a sudden just like something had went wrong with him and he just turned bad, or if he was just invented bad, that right there is what Brixton is like almost. But except without the canon and everything. But Hobbs and Shaw was still, you know, an enjoyable time. I mean, when it first started, I was like, oh man, here we go. I mean, wonder why am I even seeing this, man? Because you know, this is probably gonna throw everything off with the series and everything, or I don't know what it's gonna do. But then within like 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, oh, okay, so maybe we're getting somewhere. And when this, I mean, and you know, with The Rock and Jason Statham, of course you're gonna have action, and that right there is like, you know, too much action. But it's so much action to where you still enjoy the movie because the action was just that damn good. I mean, movies with too much action, I mean, I feel like that, you know, they can, you know, even if a movie does have too much action, you know, it can still be enjoyable. I mean, as long as the movie is good. But, you know, if the movie's bad and they're doing too much action, then, hey, I mean, it's still bad. But Hobbs and Shaw, though, you know, it's also, the only thing I have to say that, like, I didn't like about this movie, the only thing is that, I don't know, like, you know, some of the characters, like Dom and Roman, none of them wasn't mentioned or anything. But then, when you're watching this movie, you know, you do forget about them because you're so focused on just Hobbs and Shaw in this movie. And then, like, you know, with the assignment, man, that they were assigned to, you know, it was an assignment that, you know, that was a team job. And Hobbs and Shaw, I do think, you know, that, like, you know, if you're a fan of this series, and if you also, you know, if you was looking forward to seeing this, you are going to enjoy it. Or if you was like me, who was having like second thoughts about this at first when seeing the trailer, like, oh my goodness, you know, why are they even doing this spinoff? Like, do we even need a spinoff to Fast and Furious? When you go see it, you know, you will be proven wrong. I mean, you will be impressed with what they did with this. And Hobbs and Shaw, you know, that pretty much leads me up to where, you know, if you should go see it or wait for it to go to Redbox. I mean, pretty much from what I just said just now, I mean, you obviously should go check it out. Don't wait for it to go to Redbox. Go check it out because it is enjoyable. You know, it got some comedy in it, of course, because, you know, those two be saying some of the most ignorant, disrespectful, funny jokes to each other when dissing each other. And then also for Hobbs and Shaw's grade, I give that grade a B. Out of 5 stars, I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. So, with that being said, this is Ryan A. Polk with the wrap-up, signing off.